Hey, welcome to another product review. Today we're going to be taking a look at the UFC Wave 1 action figures by Jakks. Now you might remember last time we took a look at Wave 0 of the action figures, which would make this the second wave, but that was called Wave 0 like I just said, and this is Wave 1, so that completely negates it, and this is just going to get more confusing every time they make figures, so let's just stop this argument right there and start taking a look at what these guys look like out of the package.
I guess we should look at them in the box first, maybe. The packaging looks just like the first wave, or Wave 0, but let's not start that confusion again. The side of the box features an image of the fighter on top, and on the bottom, a number which designates what event the fighter's outfit is from. The front has a nice big window to take a look at the figure with its unique octagonal shape. The bottom right has an action shot, and hey, that guy getting beat up looks kind of familiar. Yeah, I know who that is. That's Bald Bull from Punch-Out! I guess every washed-up athlete is trying their hand in mixed martial arts now. Too bad he's getting beaten up by just about everybody there. He's even getting suplexed by Kevin Randleman. Bald Bull just can't win. The back of the packaging is same as last time, with a rundown of the figures and a quick bio. Nice and uncluttered at the very least. Here's something I did not show last time, and this is a way to open the box without wrecking the package entirely. I took a razor and I scored the tabs holding the cardboard together, and voila, the box opens like a door hinge. Now you can see the inside better, which resembles a shot from inside the cage, with spotlights overhead and the octagon locking our figure in. And who is in this lineup, you might ask? Ultimate Fighter Season 1 winner, Forrest Griffin. Mike Quick Swick. Heavyweight contender, Czech Congo. The Count Michael Bisping. Former middleweight champ, the late Evan Tanner. Former light heavyweight champion, Chuck Liddell. The monster, Kevin Randleman. And current UFC middleweight champion, Anderson Silva. And here's Paulie from Rocky digging around for his dinner. The first thing I noticed about this line is much more star power than Wave 0. Don't get me wrong, Wave 0 had Brock Lesnar, Frank Mir, Hoist Gracie, and Rashad Evans, but for mainstream fans, not sure how many of them were looking forward to getting a Kendall Grove or Houston Alexander figure. It could just be my personal preference, and even though Wave 0 actually had 5 champs, and this one has 4, the figures that they have are more recognizable and popular, at least in my opinion. As for the figures themselves, the articulation is top-notch, with each figure having 25 points of articulation. This is a lot for Jakks, who has also made WWE figures, whose normal 6-inch figures have 17 points of articulation, and deluxe figures with a few more. There is a joint connecting the chest to the arms that allows them to cross their arms tighter across their bodies, which is what makes them different from the deluxe WWE figures, as well as their more realistic proportions. This means your figures are the perfect size for pulling off high kicks, takedowns, tie clinches, and anything else you might want them to do. Attention to detail is pretty good, with each figure covered in their specific tattoos and shorts with their sponsors. The paint job is pretty good on this too, but sometimes comes off as haphazard, as sometimes the paint misses a spot due to a bulging muscle, or on the rougher textured shorts, the paint can be lighter in some spots. But really, this problem is on a figure-to-figure basis, so if you're buying them in person, it pays to be a little picky. The face sculpts are all quite accurate, and this line is slightly more expressive than the previous one, with Forrest Griffin's smirking face. The rest of the figures have the same look on their face, but they look good while doing it. The only weird thing I would have to say is on the Count's face, which from the right angle looks less like Michael Bisping and more like Michael Scott from The Office. On the topic of Bisping, the back of his head was open to the public, if you will, as you could easily see the joint connecting it to the shoulders. All the figures with bald heads or very little hair on top suffer from this problem to a degree, but the Bisping I had was very noticeably high on that neck joint. Nothing Jakks can really do about that, though, since without that space, we would lose a lot of flexibility that the figure has, which is what separates it from their other lines. A few people pointed out last time something that I forgot to talk about, which was the two-toned skin of the figures. Almost every figure suffers from this affliction in this wave too, so it's time to address that. My theory is that this has to do with the manufacturing of the parts, since the solid pieces like the legs and arms are one color, and the hollow ones like the torso section are another. So, in other words, it might be due to the type of plastic used for each particular segment, or how the paint attaches itself to that plastic, but I'm really not too sure, so I will try and investigate this and get an answer by the next review I do. One big disappointment with this wave is that there are no accessories, which was the same problem as Wave 0, with the exception of Miguel Torres' WEC Championship title belt. But this time, we don't even get one belt. Now, back when the Protos from Toy Fair were shown, the figures were seen with different things like gear bags, heavy bags, scales, and even some weightlifting equipment. But none of these things have been packaged with the figures yet. And considering that this line had 4 UFC champions, 3 in the same weight class in fact, I think that they could have given us at least one piece of gold in this lineup. I'd also like to see some entrance-specific gear down the line too, like a walkout t-shirt or a hat, but one thing at a time. Something else I want to address is the body types and scale of the figures. This line uses the same 3 body types we saw last time, which is 1 for the heavyweights, 1 for light heavyweight, middleweight, and welterweights, and 1 for lightweights and bantamweights. The figures are all identical in size with each other, with the exception of one figure, and that is Kevin Randleman. In real life, Randleman stands 5 foot 10 inches tall, and I'm happy to report that he is noticeably shorter than the other figures, and also has a unique leg sculpt with wrestling shoes on. Overall, I like this line a lot, much more than Wave Zero in fact. Wave Zero was nice, but it felt a bit lazy. This one is starting to show what the future holds by giving us more of the little things like 5 o'clock shadows, more detail on the shorts, and chest hair, as weird as that might sound. Also, the fact that Randleman's height was different from other figures shows some initiative that other figures might be different sizes as well, which will of course make for a much more varied collecting experience. I do hope we see more body sculpts as well, since as more figures come out, the more noticeable this lack of variety is going to become. With that said, this is a good-looking line that is great for collectors in package and out, hardcore fans, and for little kids who just want to play UFC.
So there you have it, UFC Wave 1 by Jakks. Overall, I think it's a much stronger line than Wave 0. A lot of the fighters I like better in this line. Looks like they're putting some more effort into things, with some of the body hair like you saw in Forrest Griffin and some of the sponsors. And I'm looking forward to seeing what future lines are going to have, even though Wave 2 looks like it's going to be a little bit iffy, because there's going to be a lot of reissues from this and Wave 0, but we'll talk about that one when that comes out. If you want to check these guys out in person, you can head over to your local Toys R Us, or maybe even a Walmart or Target. Or if you want, you can head to the usual online suspects like BigBadToyStore.com or RingsideCollectibles.com. Thanks for watching, good luck shopping.